Hello, my friend. If you're watching this video, chances are you're over 65, or maybe someone you love is. And perhaps you're living without a partner now, maybe due to divorce, or maybe because you've lost someone dear to you. It's not something most men talk about openly. We often keep our deepest struggles buried beneath routines, hobbies, silence, or even humor. But today, I want to talk to you heart to heart. This isn't going to be a sad video. It's about real life. It's about what happens when you find yourself alone at a stage when you thought you'd be growing older with someone by your side. So grab a cup of tea or coffee, settle in, and let's have this honest conversation. You're not alone. After 65, many men find themselves living alone. Some never married. Some are divorced. And some have lost their wives or longtime partners. And here's the truth. We don't talk about it. In many Western cultures, especially in places like the US, the UK, Australia, men are raised to be tough, independent. We were taught to man up, to deal with it, to not show too much emotion. But the reality is this. Loneliness hits hard, not just in the evenings when the house is quiet, but in those little daily things, eating alone, watching TV alone, waking up to silence. One study found that men over 65 who live alone are at much greater risk for depression, memory decline, even heart disease. And the kicker? Most of us don't say a word. We suffer silently. We pretend we're fine. Why? Because we think admitting we're lonely makes us weak. Because we don't want to be a burden to our adult kids. Because we're afraid of seeming lost after all those years of being the strong one. But my friend, silence doesn't make you strong. Facing your truth does. Some men say, I'm fine, even months or years after losing their wife. But grief isn't just about tears at a funeral. It can be subtle, quiet, and long-lasting. You may notice you're more irritable. You might lose interest in cooking or going out. You might sleep more, or not sleep at all. You might look around the empty house and feel like something's missing, but not be able to explain it. And if you're divorced, there's a different kind of grief. It's the loss of dreams, the loss of companionship, the quiet hurt that comes with knowing things didn't turn out the way you hoped. Here's something most men won't tell you. We still talk to our late wives in our heads. We still remember their laugh, their cooking, the way they looked when they were just sitting reading a book. That's normal. That's love. And grieving doesn't mean you're weak. It means you had something beautiful and you miss it. So let yourself feel. Don't rush to get over it. You don't get over it. You learn to live with it and honor it. One of the hardest parts of living without a partner is figuring out who you are now. For years, maybe decades, you were a husband, a caretaker. You had routines. You had someone to plan meals with, to go to events with, to make decisions with. Now that role is gone. But here's the truth I want to remind you of. Your story isn't over. Your identity doesn't end because you're single. You're still a whole person with wisdom, with experiences, with value. In fact, this can be a new beginning. Some men rediscover old hobbies. Painting, gardening, music, even writing memoirs. Some take short trips, explore nature, volunteer at schools or community centers. Others start exercising again, not because they want to look young, but because it feels good to feel strong. This is the season of rediscovery, of asking, what brings me joy now? You don't need permission to reinvent your life. And if you're worried it's too late, let me share this. Colonel Sanders started KFC in his 60s. Grandma Moses began painting in her late 70s. And Nelson Mandela became president of South Africa at 75. You're not too old. You're just getting started in a new chapter. Men tend to ignore mental health. But let's be honest, it matters. Especially now. Living alone can quietly impact your mood, memory, and even physical health. Do you feel anxious in the evenings? Do you sometimes forget things more often than you used to? Do you struggle to find motivation in the morning? That's not just aging. That might be loneliness or even mild depression. You're not broken. You're human. Try this. Call someone once a week. Just a 10-minute chat. Join a walking group or a local club. Even if it feels awkward at first. Keep a small journal. Just write how you feel each day. And if you're struggling deeply, talk to your doctor. Not for pills necessarily, but for a real conversation. Men who prioritize mental health live longer, happier lives. You deserve that. Let's talk about something many avoid: finding love or even companionship after 65. Some men feel guilty, especially after losing a spouse. Others fear rejection or worry about dating in a modern world. But here's the truth. Humans are wired for connection. That doesn't mean you must date again, but it means you're allowed to. You're allowed to want companionship, to share laughter, to feel wanted. And it doesn't always have to be romantic. Sometimes it's a deep friendship, a neighbor you share meals with, a friend you travel with, or someone from church or your senior center who becomes part of your weekly life. Love isn't always about marriage or passion. Sometimes love looks like shared soup, shared silence, or shared sunsets. Don't close the door just because society makes you think it's too late. Here are a few simple but powerful habits that can make solo living more joyful and healthy. Create a morning routine. Get up, open the curtains, drink water, stretch. It sets the tone. Eat real meals, not just snacks or toast. Treat yourself like someone worth cooking for. Move your body, even 15 minutes a day, walking, light yoga, simple strength exercises. Learn one new thing a week. A word, a recipe, a fun fact. Keep your brain alive. Talk to someone every day, even just a smile at the store clerk or a call to a friend. Keep a joy list. Write 5 things that make you smile, a favorite song, a park, a movie. When you're down, go to that list. Keep pictures around of loved ones, good times, travels. Let your walls remind you you've lived, you've loved, you've mattered. These simple things may seem small, but they create meaning. They remind you that you're not just getting through the day, you're living it. If you've watched this far, I want to say something important. You matter. Your life still holds value. You're not just a man who lost a partner. You're a man with strength, wisdom, and the power to live fully on your own terms. It's okay to miss someone. It's okay to feel lonely sometimes. But it's also okay to laugh again, to love again, to dream again. So if no one told you today, you are loved, you are not forgotten, and there's still more joy ahead. Thank you for being here. If this video touched your heart, consider sharing it with a friend who might need it too. And remember, you're never truly alone. Not in this community, not in this life. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.